I believe it's fun to have more hidden hobbies or like hobbies you don't make like a career or full like content out of. But coffee is one of those passions for me. And one thing that, really got me into coffee was I judged for the U.S. Coffee Championships.
Wait, what? Oh no, you need to explain this whole world.
Wait, I didn't tell you this.
What is the U.S. Coffee Championship?
But I can't believe
Please explain to them what a U.S. Coffee Championship is.
Okay, so basically in the world of coffee, there's something called the U.S. Coffee Championships. So if you know like James Hoffman or Morgan Eckroth, like they're like world championships or they're world like barista champions. And it's kind of like a tier. You start off local, move on to regional, then national, then international. It's where baristas from all over the world come to compete in different categories, from barista to coffee with spirits, which is alcohol, or just regular like brewed coffee. So there's different categories, and they compete in those categories, and then they move up the ranks when they compete.
But what does a win look like? It tastes the best?
It's actually really interesting because half of it is a performance. The other half is the technicals of the coffee. So did they clean well? Did they not waste any coffee beans? Did they, what were their measurements looking like? What was their times looking like? The other half is they get to tell a story, or like they get to talk to the judges as if they were a customer at the cafe that they work at or whatever. And they get to talk to them and tell a story. And so it's really interesting and crazy how while they're making this coffee, they explain why they chose this bean to make their drink, why they're making this sort of drink, like why they're using coconut cream, why they're putting in Coca-Cola, or like how they're using all these different ingredients, and telling a story through coffee and their craft of making coffee. And so their performance and their entire story is very much tied into the criteria and the judging.
Dude, I'm mind blown.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
This is one of those moments where there's a whole world that I don't know about. And this happens quite a lot at base camp, but...
Yeah.
Okay, so half of it's judged on their performance, which is their style, their efficiency, cleaning,
that's the technical part.
Oh, that's the technical. And then the performance is
their storytelling.
And
their backstory,
is there no taste aspect?
Oh, that is part of the technical. That's more like the sensory part. So I guess there's three parts. So there's the technical, and then there's the sensory, which is like, does it taste good? Is there a good balance between the milk and the coffee and the bitterness, sweetness, acidity? It's a whole science.
You were a judge.
I was a judge.
Yeah, take me through that experience.
So, I judged for the first time around a year ago, actually, last October.
Yeah.
Had zero coffee experience. Drank instant coffee for 21 years of living.
It's just out of the womb, started slamming coffee.
Exactly.
Okay.
Straight out of the womb. And so, since this was my senior year of college and I really wanted to immerse myself in exploring my own interests and hobbies, I thought, what better way to get to know coffee better, this drink I love, than getting to know it better through judging. So my friend and I sent a cold email over to the organizers of the coffee championships, and we're like, hey, we would love to volunteer and judge for this. So we have no coffee experience, but we'd be willing to, learn as much as we can, go through like the training, whatever is required. And they said, yeah, we put all of our judges through a day of training, and we are looking for volunteers, so you guys can come help us out. Yeah. So we drove down to Richmond, Virginia, where the preliminaries were happening. We went through a day of tasting espressos, just drinking lots of different coffee, synchronizing with the other judges, and like training our taste buds. And I think that was a very eye-opening experience for me, because it was very much like a mix of science and art. Mm-hmm. And you get to taste it too, which is really fascinating. Like you get to consume what someone's created, literally.
I have a number of thoughts. I guess I'll lead with, now, do you have the ability when you drink coffee to like distinguish between really, if I were to hand you a random cup of coffee, could you like break it down?
Yeah, so basically there's different flavor notes in the
Yeah.
coffee. And there's different notes, like there's like citrusy or like fruity notes. There's more like bitter, chocolatey notes. There's also like sweeter, maybe marshmallow type of notes. And so you take a sip and then you kind of evaluate that. And you kind of evaluate it based on like when you first drink it, when it's in your mouth versus like the aftertaste. So there's a lot of different elements that go into it. And even like the texture too. Like, is the espresso like thick and syrupy? Is it like more thin and watery? That's all part of the criteria.
So, like, the thing I'm thinking about is when I was in high school and I would write essays for English, and then my teacher would give it a grade, and I'd be like, how do you grade this? It's so subjective.
Yeah.
I always thought English grades were really stupid. I mean, and like there's some stuff that makes sense, like punctuality,
Yeah. Grammar.
grammar. So what makes a coffee? What makes citrus better? Or like why?
So actually, here's the interesting thing. When it comes to flavor,
Yeah.
right? It's actually kind of like a game of, can you taste what I want you to taste? Because here's the thing. For preliminaries, everyone chooses between 3 different coffee beans. So you get to pick which beans you want to use.
Yeah.
So when you get to more advanced nationals, like international, you get to bring whatever bean you want. But when you're first starting out, everyone is on the same playing field. So the way that you create flavors in coffee is you manipulate the different settings on the machine when you actually brew the espresso to create certain flavor notes. So if you have like the amount of coffee in the water for a longer time or shorter time, that creates a more like bitter or creates a more sweeter like taste. It has different flavors. So when you are making espresso, even if the flavors aren't actually there, like I could tell you this espresso that I'm giving you will taste like citrus.
Yeah.
The citrus isn't actually there, but it's created through the brew time or the amount of beans I use or how fine you grind them. So it's a whole science. That's why it's a whole science, because you get to craft that through the process. And then you have to be experienced and knowledgeable enough to know that, okay, this is what I taste, and so this is what I want the judges to taste.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the grading of this really is, have you done a good job and have you perfected this process enough to, if you tell me I'm going to taste jasmine floral, I will taste jasmine floral instead of tasting chocolate chip or cardamom.
So the way they eliminate subjectivity, or probably they can't eliminate it completely, but the way they lessen it is that the creator has a vision. So you're judging them on their vision.
Yeah.
How well they can create their vision.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Dude, viewers are going to learn a lot about coffee. It's
It's fascinating. It's so fascinating.
Most people drink coffee, so this is good.
Aw.
Yeah.
I thought you were going for the fist pump.
Oh, wait,
But
what were you going to do? Like a hand hug? Or?
yeah, I was going to do like a fist pump or like a high five.
Oh, okay. Did we not do that?
No, we did, but you're like this. You're doing like a little okay sign. So I don't know what you're going for.
Oh, my bad.
But
Awkward handshake.
But yeah, that's why I got really into coffee last year. And so since then, I was thinking back to your original question.
Wait, before you answer this, because I know you're going to tell me about your coffee shop dream, include if you want to compete in the competition too.
I've been thinking about that. I think I would want to compete maybe in like the latte art category or...
And that's where you make the like leaves and stuff.
Yeah, the leaves, the swans. It was really funny because someone made a corgi butt
Yeah.
for like their latte art and they actually won.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that was really...
Well, can you make latte art this week for me?
I can't do latte art yet, but I'll try. I can do a little teddy bear.
Teddy bear, that's advanced.
Mhm.
I thought, could you do a leaf? That's like the beginner.
No.
The leaves are hard.
Yeah, leaves are hard. I'm still trying to get used to it.
Okay. All right, go into your coffee shop dream.
My coffee shop dream, I think it'd be really cool to have like a all-in-one building. It's very utopian from what I'm imagining, but my friends and I would do this with like a group of friends. Like it would be a coffee shop in one, a like PC bang or like a game room, like a bunch of like computers in like another one, a bakery in another floor, like kind of just like an all-in-one building. And so I would be the floor that has the coffee shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
I
I
have a
have
lo-fi jazz, like a lo-fi coffee bar.
I have a coffee shop idea. I don't know if I want to reveal it to the public though, because I actually think it's so good that I'm worried someone would steal it.
Okay, well, do you want to share it with
We can discuss
everyone listening here?
We can discuss it off camera.
Hey, offline.
Yeah. All right.
Give us a hint. Give us a hint.
I would say it involves chess, but it involves coffee and chess. I'm sure anyone could think of playing chess in a coffee shop, but I'll break it down for you off camera why it's a good idea. Okay, if it don't let them know.